it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Bumping through your broadcast, grab a chair, fill your glass. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Bumping through your broadcast, grab a chair, fill your glass.
Hey, welcome to the Really Charlie Podcast. Today's guest is my man, my friend, and New Bedford High School standout, along with a lot of standout stats all over the place, man. This dude was one of the kids I looked at a very young age, and I said, he's NBA bound, and he was only probably 13, 14 years old. Very proud of him, like what he's doing, and he bring the population back in the gym at New Bedford High School. Him and his teammates were definitely made us all proud. And, you know, it was like get out of work, then go to the gym to see New Bedford High School boys play. So without further ado, and very by popular demand, my guest, Brian Rudolph. What's up, man?
That's a hell of an intro, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. We were proud, man, especially you and your team, man. It bring back what we felt probably with Marcus Will's team and Charlie DePina, that team. You know, people were just leaving work and then going to the gym. And then when you guys came, it was like, it's back. It's back, you know, where, you know, bunch of people watching the JV game just to get a seat, you know, and ready for you guys. And but you know, I'm trying to give you your flowers while you're standing, man. You're doing tremendous things with the kids in the neighborhood, in the community, throughout the county. So I'm very proud of that, and was very proud of you taking on the basketball tournament down in Monty's, especially, you know, with this pandemic stage and all that. You know, that was a tough thing, but I'm glad you got everything, you know, done and accomplished.
I appreciate it, man. I do all those things because I just seen how it was done before me. Even when we're talking about the high school days, like I had the pleasure of playing for Coach Rodriguez when I was in elementary school, and what he was good at is showing us and getting us to understand what New Bedford High basketball was. So he would show us the old tapes of when Marcus played and how the gym looked. And it was like, wow, we want to do that, and literally breeded us into that going into high school. So we went into high school thinking we're going to be the state champions by the time we're seniors. That was our mindset. Anything less wasn't even realistic to us. So he did an amazing job of just putting that in our minds and almost making it come to fruition.
And I mean, it was just an exciting game. There was always something, and when your team was down, it was pretty much, you know, we wasn't worried about it. You know,
right?
Not too many times were you down. You know, it just one of those fluke things. You know, a couple of turnovers in a row, and then someone went up by 4 or 6 or whatever it was. But it was never something that there was no lead that was not too far away for your team to get it, because for one, I mean, you were great offensive players, but defense, you were definitely tremendous defensive players, you know.
For sure. That was our mindset. And in a lot of our games, even down 10, down 12, we never thought, oh, we're going to lose this game. It was always, all right, it's time to make a run. We were very hard, stubborn, unselfish team. And I say stubborn because we never thought we could lose a game. So it was some good stubbornness.
It's true. Where did you get your inspiration from? I mean, there's a lot of people in your family, especially some athletic people, but who finally gave you that ball and it became something, it became part of your life?
So I grew up in the Bay Village, with my grandmother and my mother. And so we used to play basketball right on the crate, on the clothesline, cut the milk crate out and hang it up on the clothesline. So I started there. And then one summer, maybe spring, my mother was like, "You're going to go play basketball." I think Alan Ganetto was doing this Monty Summer League at the time. So we're going to go sign you up at Gomes School to play in the Summer League. And I cried. I'm not going. Trying to drag me out the house. I'm not going. So I think she ended up going to sign me up. And then when we got to the park, that was it. I just fell in love with it. I always loved basketball, but I liked it in my comfort zone, on my clothesline with my 2 or 3 friends playing little one-on-one games. So she took me out of that comfort zone, and I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with the game from there. So I would say 7 years old is where it started, and the 8 years old is where the love became like an obsession.
And then, I remember your grandmother buying the house, and then she puts the hoop up. And so every time you walk by that yard or drive by the yard, that's all you heard was the basketball going. And, it was either you or somebody else, shooting.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We might have had I think we had the first true bounce in my backyard.
Probably.
For those first ones back there. So, yeah, it was fun. We had a lot of 2-on-2 tournaments, me and my friends, my neighborhood friends. And even that, just to have a hoop in your backyard, it was like, this is a blessing. I got to take advantage. So I would set up some garbage cans, use my imagination. So like I said, at 8 years old, that love became like an absolute obsession with the game, trying to perfect it.
Good. We everyone kind of have this top list of who's the best, who's this, who's that. I hate to put you on the hot seat, but who's your starting 5, including you, that you wouldn't mind playing ball with?
From New Bedford High?
Yeah. We'll leave it like that because
I will start at the 1. Marcus Wills at the 2. Woo. At the 3. I'll go Trey. Trey Lewis. 4, Bobby Duat. And then 5, I would go with me personally, I would go with Nick Ponce because I played with Nick. He was Gatorade Player of the Year. Great offensively. So I would go with Nick at the 5. And then I gotta add a 6 per Charlie. I want to play with Flea.
Yes.
I want to play with Flea. I think we could have made that happen. We would have worked well together. So
they would have had a hard time bringing that ball up with you two on the court.
Yeah, for sure.
No, that's a great team. I've seen all of them play. And Bobby too. Bobby was one of my teammates at a younger age, kind of boys club league, Bay State league, So I knew how talented he was growing up. He just had it. He just had that anything in the key that was like money for him. He was just on all the time.
Amazing at the top of the press.
Yep. Trey Lewis's energy was it was out the gym, man. His energy nonstop. It was just
right.
And so you got your mom's good friend, my good friend, coached you for a few years, and that's Donald Lesser. Tremendous point guard. How was he as a coach on that advice?
That's my guy. Like Donald's like my uncle / brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the type of relationship we've had for a long time. He was a great coach. It's like guys like Donald, guys like Flea, guys like Dwayne Pena, guys like myself. Like we're able to play and have success at the high school level or further on because of little details. So that a lot of people overlook or a lot of people don't understand. So with Donald, he was really good at just pointing out little things that no one else would necessarily point out to me, things that I already saw, but to have a conversation about what I'm seeing with someone else who also sees it, it goes a long way.
Sure
And
does.
then we also have that dynamic, that big brother, little brother dynamic too, is someone I can confide in with personal issues, not just basketball. So I have a great appreciation for
He's got a
Don.
lot of life skills, life experiences, and
Right, exactly.
he's a good dude, and he's one of the dudes that I give a hug, and I really mean it. I mean, anybody I hug, I mean it. But he's a dude that, hey, bro, I love you, man. I love you.
Same. Every phone call me and him have at the end, I love you. Oh, I see him at the barbershop. I love you. It's always the same.
He would, I mean, you know how many friends he had, but could you imagine this? He wishing everybody happy Father's Day, happy birthday, just going through his list, man. And it's still constant. He's always doing that. So, but you when you all got to we're at the boys club, your team. I forget the name of the team, but you all
Kings.
That's right. That's right. So you talked about you being, pretty much being molded and taught, that, hey, this is your time. This is when it starts, and Coach Roderick's in your ear constantly. And that dude, he can coach you, and he knew what he was talking about. He could still shoots to this day. Had the basketball IQ better than most. He's been not infamous. He's famous for being one of the top coaches in Massachusetts. And so you got him at a very, very young age. Outside of Coach Roderick's, you really, from Bay State to high school, there wasn't too many other coaches for you. I don't remember.
I had my first coach was Mr. Brittle.
That's
Peter
right.
Brittle.
Yep, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's I'm your mom's age. I'm sorry, man. I get
It's
a little
all
older.
good.
I forget.
And again, Mr. Brittle's that's like a grandfather to me. So
Yeah.
I love to pay homage to all these guys. Like even with the tournament this summer that we had at Monty's, I renamed it the Peter Brittle Classic because I just felt he deserved that recognition.
Sure does. It's nice seeing you. A lot of things you're doing. You're in the schools. You're doing the basketball clinics. You're doing all the things that pretty much a Bay Village kid is kind of taught. We're taught to pass it on, to move it on. I was, whatever you were taught, you pass it on to the next generation. And I see that you're doing that. And I never, let me see, how do I want to say this? It doesn't get exhausting. It's kind of that thing you look forward to, when kids are coming to you and, all right, where's that next group, and just continue to do that. I really want to commend you for that because there's so many ways a kid can go. And if they're going towards the basketball level, guess what? Give them all the time they need. And so I'm glad that you're doing it. I'm glad that you started your business and just being there for them because they can go in the other direction. You know that, B, man. They can. It's very easy. So that's one thing that I just want to let you know.
I appreciate it, and that's like one of the biggest reasons why we do it. It's way bigger than basketball. I always tell these kids that basketball is, at the end of the day, it's just a game. You can learn a lot of life lessons in terms of how to communicate, how to persevere, how to be unselfish, right? A lot of life lessons I've learned through basketball, but ultimately it can help you in just the real world, and it can help you get to places you wouldn't even have a chance to get to if you didn't play. It's almost that motivation, that constant reminder to keep going. All right, I know a lot of kids who I think about it myself as a kid that if I didn't have basketball, would I had been as good as a student? You know what I mean? It's almost that big incentive that you can keep, that you have constantly to always want to do good.
So true. one of the things I liked is growing up is having that Bay Village. Um, just growing up there. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I wouldn't trade for being raised any other place in the city of New Bedford than the way I did because it made me the person I am. But it's about another family, just treating people like your family that's in the neighborhood where a kid needed to eat, so your mom, whoever, they fed them, your nana fed them, just a neighbor fed them. If you've seen somebody without, kid running to the pony boy, the ice cream man, and didn't have any ice cream, well, someone was going to buy him one. It wasn't going to be left out. And that's the one thing I like about the Bay Village. The As you go on and you're going through school and getting opportunities in different at the collegiate level, and I was so excited about you. All right, going to Providence College, he's right there. He's right down the street. Everybody can get there. And then you go down to Loyola Marymount, right? And you go
Loyola,
down there.
Maryland. Yeah,
Yeah.
Loyola, Maryland.
I think I caught you on TV once. And so as you go down there, and you meet some people, was there a culture shock because it is a different type of?
Nah, I wouldn't say Baltimore is real similar to New Bedford.
Yep.
It's but the first culture shock I had was race related because we're fortunate enough in New Bedford where we have Kverdians, we have Portuguese, we have Spanish, we have all these different ethnicities. Now in Baltimore they have the same, but it's more separated. So when I went to Baltimore, maybe my first 2 weeks at school, their mall's a lot bigger than ours. So I was in the parking garage and I was a little lost. So I had asked a white woman, I was like, do you know how to get there? And it was a regular question, Yep. And how scared her face looked when I asked her. And that's when it hit me like, damn, I ain't in New Bedford anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that like would be a reoccurring thing in while I was at school. Baltimore's it's different too because you can take a right and be in the richest neighborhood in the city, or you could go left and you're in the hood. And when I mean hood, I mean there's one block with 10 abandoned houses, but there's one person who lives on that street. Yeah. Like it doesn't even make sense. Like, how does this even make sense? Mm-hmm. So, but I really look at Baltimore as a second home. I loved it there. We had a lot of fun. My freshman year, we had a lot of success. I was rookie of the year my freshman year. And then from there was a little bit of a change of stuff I wasn't used to. We had, I believe, like 7 seniors my freshman year who were 24 years old, like old seniors. I was only 18. So when we lost them, I became the leader, which was something I was used to. But at the college level, it takes a lot more out of you.
Yeah.
So we hit some rebuilding years. And then my senior year, we had some success again.
We got a question on the Next Level Factory in Dartmouth. Where can I get more info about it?
You can get info for Next Level Factory right online. If you go to nextleveltraining.com, all the information is there. It's a really nice website. We just got redone. And also there's the Next Level Factory app that you could download on your phone. I would suggest to go online first to get the overview of everything. And then if you're looking to get private workouts, like one-on-one workouts or group training, we also do a lot of clinics through February breaks or any school break or in summertime. You can get a lot of information off the app too.
Good. And as Brian's saying that, what I'm going to do is actually continue to share everything that he's possibly involved in, especially with Next Level. And I'll be sharing that on the Really Charlie podcast group on Facebook, just because he's a guest. And I'm going to constantly support and throw things out there, and bring people your way.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
the guidance and the tutelage is definitely there. And I know that, if a kid has to play some basketball or wants to be taught the right way, Brian and his staff are definitely going to do that. Um, I, I was talking to Lexi, and she's trying to tell me that she does everything in your gym, man. What's up with that, man?
No, I would say Lexi is my cleanest employee, man. I got four trainers. We got Marcus Wills, I got Pee Wee Torres, Sean Mosier, and Lexi. So and then myself. We're all four spoiled men.
Mm-hmm.
So Lexi make sure, hey, the bathroom ain't looking how it's supposed to. I gotta get it. So she does do a lot of the little things for us over here, us boys who've been spoiled by our mom and grandparents. Don't do a good enough job of.
Now, are you coaching her up too?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to show her this as far as the teaching game and how to break things down more. And I think through that, you're able to the game's able to slow down even more for you. If you're able to explain it and break things down, then when you're doing it, it's like, oh, this is easy. It's a piece of cake, man, and that comes with age too. So yeah, she's doing a great job here, man, and I gotta get her on the court more of just helping her overall with her development because she still wants to play overseas and semi-pro, and Lexi could hoop, man. So
yeah, you could see you've seen she was trying to be unselfish during this last tournament that she had, not New England, but when she was in Kverd, and she was trying to be she just wanted to be that team player, but if she ever put that ball down and said, I'm just going to do what I got to do and score, and she definitely would have put them over the hump a couple of times. But and during the podcast that I had with her, she had told me some the backstory of a few things, and now I truly understand what she's going through. What about you? Your experience in Kverd? I mean, you got hurt.
So my first year in Kverd was right after college, 2011. I went there, starting point guard. We actually were traveling to Mozambique, so we hit a few places in between. We started in Kverd, and then we were in Canary Islands, which is more like Spain than it is Africa, for like 2 weeks. Beautiful place. So we had a few scrimmages there, and I'm playing really well. And then when we get to Mozambique for the tournament, they tell me my paperwork's not through, so I can't play the first game. So I'm pissed about it, naturally. Yep. And then the first game turns into the second game, and then the second game turns into the whole tournament. So I'm like, I'm away from my family for fresh out of college for a month and a half, and I can't even play basketball. And for me, I had a lot riding on it. That summer, I started working with Chris Herron, and he had set up some different agents to watch me and try to send my tapes out, my college tapes out, so I could get a job overseas. And I was like, you know what, Chris, I'm just gonna go play. I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna rely on this. I've always betted on myself, and it always worked. But when we got there, I can't play because the paperwork was out of my control. So my first experience with Kverd wasn't the best. But then I gave it a second chance the next summer. We qualified for AfroBasket, which was going to be in Ivory Coast. But going into that, we got a chance to host a tournament in Kverd. So we're playing in front of 3,000, 4,000 of our people, going crazy for 4 games. And it was probably the top experience of my life outside of playing at New Bedford High School. It was an out-of-body experience to qualify and to do well in front of the country. Coming from just a little city in New Bedford. So that was amazing. And then in 2013, we played in Ivory Coast, where we had a lot of success. We were 1 game away from the Final Four. We lost by 1 to Egypt, but I led the team in points, in assists. We beat a really good Nigeria team that had like 5 NBA guys on it. So that was really fun. And I got a lot of different offers to play overseas because of the Kverdian experience. But at that time, I I just had my daughter who was 3 months. So
Yeah.
for me, I didn't have enough experience to know, like, all right, if I start off at this, get paid this much to go play in Portugal, I didn't realize that if you play well, the money just keeps increasing. No one ever told me that.
Yeah.
So I looked at it as, all right, if I got to start off there, I make money being home. I make more money being home. I'm just going to stay home, and when I did that, I fell in love with coaching and kind of put the playing on the back burner. So everything happens for a reason, but I love my experience in Kverd. Being there, the people treat you amazing. I can't wait to go back to the country, to be honest.
Good.
It's been a few years.
Last time I seen you, you were on last time I seen you was at Carney. Time before that, you were on some crutches.
Oh,
it blew my mind, man. I didn't know you were hurt, and kind of gave me a flashback, because I messed up both my patella tendons and pretty much stopped me from playing, only because I didn't want to have surgery again. I didn't want to get hurt again, because those staples are no joke, man, and so, but how's your knee, man? Everything good?
My knee I'm cleared to play basketball. As far as like little one-on-one stuff, I rehabbed the hell out of it for 6 months. I've been working out a lot more recently, as far as no restrictions, basketball-wise, strength and conditioning-wise. So it gets better weekly. So I'm trying to I'm playing the long game, the slow grind. I hope to be able to play by the summertime. I love playing basketball, even just working out. It brings something different out of me. I'm always yelling and screaming. I'm excited. It's therapy, man. So I hope to be able to play by the summer, but for now I'm just doing some workouts with a couple of friends to stay in shape. But the knee's coming along.
Yeah, your mindset will get you right. I know that will happen. You'll definitely be playing. Wayne Burgle says Brian, the first kid I remember taking his training serious. Used to walk around the neighborhood and hoop with the shoes that the toes. All right.
The strength shoes.
Oh, okay. All right, I got you. Now I understand.
Yeah, to help you with your jumping. Yeah, I mean, like I said, Charlie, at 8 years old, I was obsessed with basketball. Like that was my thing. So I grew up with Wayne. He was my next door neighbor. So that's actually Shane Berger, who's the new one of the new city councilors, his brother. So we grew up together and we played all sports, but basketball was like, I was obsessed with it. Everyone knew from a young age that I would have some success with it. And I was fortunate enough to do it, do hard work.
So when you were across the street, hooping, on the other side, you might have had, the group Reality, some hip hop dudes rapping on the porch. Did you hear them? Did you get fresh knowledge of them?
Nah.
No?
Group Reality?
Yeah.
No.
All right. Because I guess that's where they started, right on the Burgo porch over there. So,
you know what? That was probably they're a little older than us. That's why.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
I got you. You know what? I'm missing that age difference,
Right.
But I'm proud of them, and I had them on the podcast, and they got their new tracks out, and they're doing their thing.
Okay. So Wayne says that's Marcel's rap group. Now Marcel wasn't rap. Marcel was younger than us. He's not. Right. He wasn't rapping yet, man.
Okay. All right.
We were telling him he couldn't play. He was a little bro.
He had the height, but man, he didn't want to do that, man. And coming from the family of Hector Barrows, man, you gotta have some athletic ability, and even the Burgos, they did their thing too. So the let's see. Noah, there's something in your bio that I missed, and you mentioned Syracuse. What was you doing in Syracuse?
No, so one of the kids that we get here at the gym, one of the college athletes that we get, Rhode Island kid, he just transferred from Villanova last year to Syracuse. So he's starting for Syracuse right now. His name's Cole Sweater. So he's one of the kids that we train. over at the gym. So all those schools that were in the bio, just some all the kids the student athletes, I should say, that we train here in the summertime that play
Okay.
at the big time level.
Have you seen Bryson yet at PC? Have you gone to a game yet?
I've been to a few games. I
Yeah.
think Bryson right now is just waiting for his turn. I think he gotta stay hungry, stay into it, stay selfless. His time will come, but it will come with hard work. I think once he gets his opportunity, I think it will come more so next year. I think he could blossom because that kid can do just about everything on the basketball court. He's a hell of an athlete. He can shoot it. He's a good defender. So you just got to stay hungry, stay ready, and then when the opportunity comes, be ready to jump all over and take advantage.
This area is bringing out some, we always bring out a lot of things, a lot of players, and you got Noah Fernandez up at Umass Amherst, and
Noah's a dog.
he is, and I actually, could you imagine if this area, if Fall River, Dartmouth, and New Bedford was considered a metropolitan like everything else, up in Boston,
Right.
Could you imagine if we had that opportunity where transportation could go, connected to those three towns?
That'd be amazing.
Tremendous.
Even that little onset area, they get a lot of talent. They get a lot of talent too. It's crazy, and it's a different time too, as far as just the kids going to their public high school, and it's not even a knock on the kids because I don't blame them. There's more opportunities now for them outside of their local high school, and you need to go where the opportunity is. And not for every kid. Some kids, it makes more sense to go to high school, whether it's New Bedford High, whether it's Vogt, whether it's Wareham, like we're talking about onset. But for other kids, it's more of an advantage if they go to prep school, like Nene Adams.
Yeah,
my little sister. She's top player in New England at her grade. It makes more sense for her to go to prep school. And
I'm so proud of her.
Absolutely.
So
she lives in here with us.
Yeah. I think she was around 12 years old. I gave her a basketball, give a good kid, give a good kid a gift, a basketball. I was giving out basketball and football my last few years on the job. And when I came across her and met her, you just felt it. And then I seen a game and I said, wow, this kid is a whole lot better than I thought, and so to see her do her thing and have a very, very good opportunity to go to the next level is going to be nice to see, and she's no slouch academically as what I found out, she's doing good in school.
She is a special kid. She's a special human. She's great. She checks all the boxes as a person, as a basketball player. So she's gonna have success, but after basketball, for sure. During basketball, she's one of those.
Now we got to talk about your little sister, man. How's she doing?
She's great.
Yeah.
She's a star. She's a star on her own. The amazing thing to me with Jayana is she loves basketball naturally, like similar to me. She cries when she loses a game. I'll tell my mother, don't tell Brian I played back. He's gonna be mad at me. I'm like, I don't even act like that with her because she's so young. She's only in 7th grade, so I'm trying to give her room to blossom on her own right now. But in another year or so, we're really gonna ramp things up.
Good.
So, but she's amazing. She's amazing too.
Got to be proud of her.
For sure.
It was hard over the years for me to get anything other than a hello out of her, but you know what? I'd rather let her stay that way. Stay that way, kid. You're making me happy. You don't have to say 10 words to me because I'm happy seeing her on the court doing her thing. And she's respectful. You guys don't have to worry about her outside the house. She's gonna be that same type person.
It's in with basketball too, because she's a naturally shy kid, especially when she was younger. But every year as she gets better at it, right, her confidence continues to grow. So it's just like all those life skills that you get from playing a sport, playing basketball. I see it with my little sister.
Yeah. I also want to commend you about the Monty's, the Peterborough Classic. You guys had a drone going through the neighborhood. That was awesome. I don't know who did that, but whoever did it, it was nice.
That's my man, the Connect Media.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the top. He does a lot of pro NBA guys games.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I got to break out some old pictures. I got to find them, man, with you guys on the court. I had a few of you, and but I missed a lot of years down at Monty's during the tournaments. Just being busy, family life. But every now and then I'll find a picture, on my camera, on my, one of my scan discs, and I'll share it. So whenever I find one of them old school pictures of you, I'm gonna put it up there.
Please do.
Uh-huh. Now, I want to tell you, man, if your mom, she was no joke, man. That girl, I got a sister, but if I had Kelly Grace as a sister, I wouldn't worry about nobody talking crap to me because I'm gonna call my sister right now,
Hey, so you gotta think where I come from, man. I got Kelly and Grace on one side, and I got Brian Rudolph Sr. on the other side.
Yeah. I'll give you some earplugs, but that might not help you. It might get you a battle whipping, but that's when you run the Nana, man. She'll protect you.
Right. Ma takes care of me.
Uh-huh. So, but my sister Dawn was tough, but she wasn't in the city growing up, so I couldn't use her when I needed her, The those Bay Village kids, you got Bernie, you got Kelly, you got Danny Gomes, those three, I wouldn't mind picking them over some boys, I don't care what sport it was. I know they were going to compete,
Right.
They were going to do their thing. So I know you got a lot of people that you that you call your mentors. I mean, who's those outstanding people for you that really, help you, especially with the things you're doing now with basketball and mentoring? Who's those, say, the top three that really stand out for you?
I would say it's mainly my coaches and the people I've been around throughout my childhood. My mother would be top of the list. We had, when I was younger, she helped Mr. Brito with his summer league at Monty's Park, which was at the time, that was the best youth summer league we could have. There was no BBA or any of that stuff. So that was amazing in itself. That was something we always looked forward to. Mr. Brito, he's a mentor for me for what he did every summer, just bringing different teams down to come play at Monty's Park. I mean, as a kid, that was amazing to me. That's why I try to continue on the tradition now because of him. Coach Rodriguez, who kind of showed me how to play basketball for real. Like I can play with my friends at Monty's or in the Bay Village, but he's showing me how to structure it, how to be an unselfish player, how to use my speed, how to use my God-given gifts. And he's always something that I can rely on, or if I have a question when I'm coaching, what do you think about their coach? These people all have opinions that matter to me. So I would definitely say my mom, for sure. I would say Mr. Brito, and I would also say Coach Rodriguez, and then even in my dad too, because my dad is someone who's seen it all and done it all. So I can pretty much bounce anything off him, and he always will give me an honest answer, not what I want to hear. And I'm his baby boy too, so I get the compassionate side of him too. So it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that communication, that talking, especially there's times you got to listen, and there's times that you want to talk. because even though you're younger, or you're a nephew, you're their child, you have you have a conversation. You can talk. You can bring a conversation to them, and as long as they're listening to you, that's a great combination. That's a great mentorship. And I know they're doing that to you. I know they're listening to you, and things that you bring to the table. Um, so as they're doing that for you, I want you to do it to your kids that you're mentoring. Listen to them,
For sure.
because never know. We know them on the court, but we may not know them at home and what they're going through.
I think that's like one of the biggest things that's missing now, especially in our city, is where, like, when I was coaching at New Bedford High School, for instance, I wasn't worried about the basketball side of it. That's the easy part. I know I could coach basketball. I was worried about, is this kid eating when he goes home? Is this kid have lights at home? Is his heat on? What does this kid have to worry about when he's walking in his backyard or he's going to his house? Those are the things in the inner city that you have to worry about the most in order to have success that translate into a sport. If you don't focus on that and show these kids how much you care about them, but genuinely care about them, then we won't have much success, sports wise.
True. We have I got this piece on the podcast that I bring up every 2 weeks, and it's about mental health and making it a priority. And there's so many people out there struggling. How many you see these young people thinking about a lot of things, suicide, they're depressed, they're going through a lot, just can't, just kind of at the bottom level, they hit rock bottom and they're thinking about doing some things. And so, I'm trying to bring that piece out, because even a teenage kid could be going through some mental health problems.
For sure. There's a 16-year-old kid right now who should be playing basketball. We had that taken away from him, and he's like, I can't imagine at 16 years old, and basketball is my life, and it's been taken away from me. Like, how do you even cope with that? You don't even know how to deal with your feelings yet as a high school kid. And especially with social media now too. We live in a highlight world where everyone wants the instant gratification or the quick success, but that's not real life, right? Everyone sees the end product and not the process. So when that instant gratification isn't there, it brings people down. You know what I mean? Everyone doesn't show the process online on their social media.
Exactly. Eileen Pina, Tiny, my girl, says, doing a great job with my grandson Sincere is on your team. And that's the common thing, people, when we posted the advertisement of you coming on the podcast, and that was the going thing, that, Brian's so good with my kids, my grandson, my nephew, whatever it may be. And those are good things to hear. And I know that you're doing a good job, but it's very nice to hear from the parents that are sitting. And there's a lot of parents that just may be, quiet about it, not saying anything. But when they're putting it out public and basically just telling you you're doing a good job, your staff's doing a good job. And when I hear it, and I'm from afar, I haven't been at your gym. I haven't been at Next Level. I haven't been there, but I know what you're doing. I have no doubt that you're doing a good job. And this is good. This is good resume. This is what you need. But man, I miss you playing basketball. I really do.
I miss it too, man. And I look at it now. It's just the bigger picture. It feels so much better. As much as I love playing basketball, I love teaching it even more. It's just the feeling you can give a kid when he learns a new move, or just seeing a kid's confidence grow. There's no better feeling like that. Like, I think that what is the highest human act a person can have is to inspire others or to show others the blueprint. And that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to pass down all my knowledge to these kids. And any mistake I made, I don't want them to make it. I did that, so you didn't have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Or any success that I've had, well, this is why I had success. Maybe your route's a little different, but let me help you get there. Or let me point you in the right direction of someone that's more similar to you. I think we often, too, we get caught up with doing things by ourselves, right? I like to do this. Mm-hmm. I want to do something with this person and this person, because if we all work together, especially in our community, the sky's the limit. And who's going to benefit it from the most? The youth.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something me and Derek Baptiste do our LLC, Leaders in Training, with the Summer League, and we do basketball camps that bring so much more than just basketball there. Like, we introduce them to mindfulness. We bring drug and alcohol prevention, domestic violence prevention. We introduce them to boxing, so many things, nutrition that might be outside their realm or their everyday life. We try to present to them so they know it's available.
Awesome. The one of my this is when you were playing, I definitely knew when your opponent was in trouble, and this is your trademark. Something I always caught on is that when either shoulder you had, whether it's your left or right shoulder, when that dipped into your opponent like this and you were dribbling, I said, oh, he's going to go by him. And you usually went right by him. And you always shielded him off, and then you would take off. And that was it. It was either a pass, layup, or 15-foot jump shot. You had that. You knew exactly how to play the game. And I seen you set up so many of your teammates, especially across court, with a pass that end up leading to a jumper or a layup. You just had it, whether it was a no-look pass or just that pass, hitting them in the chest. Some people did get hit off the head a couple of times, but you just had it, man. That intellect was nice, and that's what I miss about Brian and playing the game. So
I was fortunate, man. That right there was God's gift, man. Vision and some quickness.
Yeah, you were quick with the ball.
Right.
I could imagine without the ball, but even quicker. You're quick with the ball. People, trying to catch up to you, and usually led to that layup. The Nick Ponce and you had something going. I mean, you and a lot of your teammates were just tremendous. And
Ryan Rodrigues.
Yep, Ryan rather. Ryan is he was underestimated so much in his career, and people don't realize. Got to look at that kid's stats, man. Before you knock him, just look what he had, man.
Hey, Charlie, I tell people that all the time. I'm like, we got caught up in that's coach's son. Like, coach's son can hoop. Coach's son can hoop our whole life. Me and Ryan were rivals before we got to high school.
Mm-hmm.
We used to clash heads, even on the same team. Once we figured it out, Ryan was a special talent, man.
He sure was. Yvonne says, unfortunately, a lot of youth doesn't have dads or positive role models. So being a woman, bringing up 3 young boys, we have to turn to men like Brian to inspire them, of course. And I like that, because when people like you step up for those absentee fathers or uncles or brothers or whoever it may be, just that male person in their life, and I'm not saying that being a male means you're the best for a boy, because I was brought up by some strong women, and I have no problem with what they taught me and what they bring to the table for me. So, sometimes I wrote this poem, and it's called "Man, That Woman," and it's like, man, that woman, she did this for me. And you could say that about your mom, your grandmother, your nana, But Yvonne, I definitely hear what you're saying, and and that definitely we need more mentors, and we got them out there. They're out there.
For sure.
Brian's, he's doing his thing, and there's so many out there. Oh, let me see. What's this say? A lot of great camps, battles between you two.
Hey,
Yeah.
me and Ryan, we used to have
Yeah.
the New Bedford High School camp, and we obviously would be on opposite teams to keep the camp competitive. So we'd always end up in the championship. Whoever won got MVP. So it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
It sure was. I remember Coach Roderick's house in the Cushnet, had the court, and man, that growing up with that in the backyard, I mean, that's a dream come true, man.
Sure.
So mom and dad they had a vision, way before probably, and look at the grandkids now. Look at the Roderick's grandkids. They're doing well.
I just worked out Max today. He comes to me once a week. They're gonna be they're gonna be some good ball players too.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned Chris Herron just a little while ago, and look what what's his nephew or his son?
His son.
Yeah, his son. His son's doing well.
Yeah.
Another great podcast. Yeah, it is another great podcast. Brian Rudolph's on my podcast, making it great. I love it. I want to talk about Nick Correa, man. Hey, he's outstanding, man, and I keep trying to get him on his podcast.
Oh no, I'll get him on here. I'll get him on here for you. Nick is probably one of the most selfless people I know. That's my big brother. I love him to death. Amazing. He's the guy who's with you when everything's great. Yeah. He's with you when everything's bad. Nick is the most selfless person I've ever met, and one of the greatest people I ever met. I should have added him to the mentor list too, for sure. He's the best.
You did. Without saying it, I knew he was good to you, and he does this joke, man. He prank called a friend of mine, a friend of ours, and it's he's an Australian weightlifter trying to sell a 7-speed blender or something. It is so hilarious, man. Brian, I can't. Next time you see him, talk to him about it.
Oh, well, I'll call him tomorrow and ask for it.
So, my man, it's been an honor doing this. I hope I got everything out in this podcast for you, and I'm gonna share this. I'm gonna put it on Anchor, Spotify, Facebook, and YouTube, which it's already live on YouTube and Facebook. But Anchor and Spotify, and within the next hour after we stop the podcast. So it'll always be there. There's always going to be a video. It's always going to be that turn to thing. If I want to give it to hey, check out this video, Brian Rudolph. I might want to tell a young kid to just listen. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you, your parents, for doing a great job with you. Your Nana she's one of the greatest Bay Village moms in the world, and she's been a huge part of my life since your grandfather, Tommy Grace, and he was key. He was huge to me.
That's my guy.
Huge. So, Brian, I give this question to everybody. Who would you like to see on the Really Charlie podcast?
I want to go Nick Kverd. Now, I think he has a really good story. Just his ups and downs, his battles and where he's at now. I think that's very important for kids to hear, even adults to hear. We all still have our battles, for everyone to hear. And and what he's doing now too. So I would definitely say Nick would be amazing on here. I think I'll get him to do it for sure.
We had a podcast ad for him, but he had to cancel out. Something happened with the family, and so he had to cancel. But I surely would love to have him on here, just to talk. I mean, I can't even count how many kids I've seen him work magic with.
And a lot of it was free of cost.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
A lot of it, especially in this city, a lot of it was free of cost. That dude was amazing.
It sure is. All right, man. Well wishes with you.
I appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah.
I got a few plugs real quick though, Charlie.
Whatever you want, man.
I gotta throw the business out. So we got Next Level Factory Dartmouth, on 52 Center Street, right in South Dartmouth, really close, just outside New Bedford. Great private training facility. We got basketball. We got Athletes First, which is a strength and conditioning side with my uncle Sharik and Jared Antu. They do an amazing job. I think if you've never been to this facility, when you walk in, it's kind of everyone's like, this exists here.
It's nice. You still there? All right, everyone. He cut out a little bit, but everything that Brian is, next level and all the things that he's trying to propose, I'm going to continue to share on the podcast, in the Facebook group, as much as I can, just to promote what he's doing. He's doing tremendous things for the neighborhood, the community. And what I'm going to do is just give him a few seconds just in case his feed comes back on.
There we go.
You there, B? All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You can continue.
Also, back to what I was saying, we're here at Next Level Factory with trying to give everyone the blueprint, man. It's something that we didn't have as kids growing up, and we offer just about everything athletically here, but also mentally too, to challenge you, to grow your confidence, to feel better about yourself. So we offer that, and then we also have Leaders in Training LLC, where we're creating little leaders in our community, both boys and girls. Me and Derek Baptiste do basketball camps in the summer. We have over 150, 200 kids at New Bedford High School. We had our first summer league this summer at Buttonwood Park. This summer should be even bigger. And then we also have AAU coming up, spring AAU basketball, through our Leaders in Training LLC for high school kids. So we're trying to offer everything possible for our community, boys and girls, so we can kind of change the culture through what we know, which is basketball. So we're here for you, and thank you for having me, Charlie.
I'm very, very honored to have you on here. I'm very happy to have you on here. And feel free, if a kid struggling and trying to get to one of your camps or on one of your teams, me and my family will try to do the best I can to help out that kid to participate, and get through it, So all you do is just send me a message and try to do what I can, 100 books here, or I'll do something, and we'll go from there. All right,
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Work on that knee, get back on that court, and you get on the court, I'm bringing my camera, bro.
All right, say less.
Love you, bro.
I love you too, man. Thank you.
Take care. All right. Awesome. This is what I'm talking about on the Really Charlie podcast. Getting people like this to get on here and talk the talk, chop it up, and bring some life experiences to the podcast. So people will listen and learn from what they're going, what my guests are going through or been through, and Brian's it, man. He's doing his thing inside and outside the school, and definitely putting kids in the right place, and very proud of that. All right, everyone. Tomorrow I will have myself and Marvin Speller, Coach M100, we will be on the podcast 7 p.m. Eastern Time, talking about mental health and depression. And feel free, if you have a story and you're going through some mental health issues and you want to share your story with the Really Charlie podcast, just come on the podcast tomorrow and in the comment section, just say invite me, invite you, and you can share your story with the listeners. All right. Thank you much. Appreciate it. And I'll see you tomorrow. God bless.
It's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Bumping through your broadcast. Grab a chair, fill your glass. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Bumping through your broadcast. Grab a chair, fill your glass.